Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now, back again with another interesting video. Of course, it's going to be a follow-up video to the hot topic that we've been talking about. Mali arrests French military veteran in a failed overthrow attempt, as well as France response to Mali's failed overthrow and the arrest of a French military officer. Yes. Now, like I said, this should be the biggest story in the world, but as we know, the adversary is trying to bury this story, and it seems like me and only a handful of other people are talking about this story. No one else is really touching on it. I don't know why, but in case you've been living under a rock, a few days ago, a senior officer in the French military was arrested in Mali and charged with being at the head of a conspiracy to overthrow the government and possibly assassinate the head of state. And listen, there's so many topics that have been requested for me to touch on, but listen, we got to put them topics in the back seat right now. We got to put them other topics in the trunk right now. You know, maybe we might go into Patreon and talk about them, but we have to talk about this story right here. We got to keep the spotlight on this story right here. Now today, I want to go to my Burkinabe brother, right? This brother right here. He wanted to shine some light, you know, give us some more information on how President Assimi Goïta, His Excellency, the general, the 5-star general, the head of the Malian army, right? The chief of the military. He gave us some inside knowledge on how His Excellency, President Assimi Goïta, was able to outsmart and outmaneuver the French government. Outsmart and outmaneuver the French intelligence. Yes, today we're going to be talking about it. Not wasting no time. Let's get into it. Take a look up on the screen. They were all sent as workers to the French embassies in Burkina Faso and Mali. The Burkinabe intelligence services quickly anticipated the dismissal of the one from Burkina Faso. His first mission was to infiltrate the community of associations and culture in Burkina Faso. Now, time out. The community of associations and culture, that sounds like the civil society groups. Now, you remember I reacted to that article from the Washington Post the other day where the author, that lady, tried to criticize Captain Ibrahim Traoré for suspending those so-called civil society groups. And lo and behold, the French intelligence was sent to infiltrate the civil society groups, right? But then they tried to paint the captain as being, oh, look at him being a dictator, suspending the civil societies, without mentioning the fact that the French government was trying to infiltrate the civil societies. Man, let's continue. For the one from Mali, he had already completed the first mission of infiltrating political parties and associations. So time out. So they're talking about two different spies. So apparently there was a spy sent to Burkina to infiltrate the civil societies. And the second one, as you already know, the man in custody, Lieutenant Colonel Yann Vezilier. Now let's continue. For the one from Mali, he had already completed the first mission of infiltrating the political parties and associations. So he first infiltrated the civil society groups. And if you remember, a few months back, we saw these strange democracy rallies being held in Mali out of nowhere, right? All the corrupt politicians and their political parties started holding these pro-democracy rallies in the country, right? Take a look up on the screen. Back in May, hundreds of activists staged Mali's first pro-democracy rally in years, right? So out of nowhere, democracy. So listen, they were setting the stage for the coup. They were setting the stage for the overthrow, right? The citizens want democracy. We're mobilizing the citizens. We're mobilizing the political parties. We're mobilizing the civil societies, right? Man, the adversary is crafty. Let's continue. His second mission, which consisted of infiltrating the Malian army to create a destabilization network, was ready as soon as he was arrested. So much so that he was reassured by certain political figures who led him to believe that the Malian authorities no longer had any credibility among the population and that a coup d'etat was possible without any resistance. The spy therefore suggested that he be taken to certain tea houses for small debates to ensure the veracity of the statements of his political accomplices. He was arrested on August 1st, even before his military accomplices. It was through his interrogation and the seizure of his cell phones and computers that the Malian authorities uncovered the entire scenario. His interactions with military circles, politicians, and civil society figures. When the spy was arrested, nobody heard from him. While he was in the hands of the Malian Secret Service, he was allowed to continue communicating with the outside world without mentioning that he had been arrested. Oh man, that's that top flight intelligence. Probably had a gun to that boy head. Take a look up on the screen. You could tell he was in the interrogation room getting beat up, right? Look at his face. You could tell there was beating on the adversary. Look at that. They was beating him, punching him. I could tell. Listen, they was beating you up, bro. Let's continue. While he was in the hands of the Malian Secret Service, he was allowed to continue communicating with the outside world without mentioning that he had been arrested. In the meantime, France realized that there was something strange about the spy's communications. Although the military accomplices were not arrested, It was French intelligence that gave the list of the soldiers who were in contact with the spy to the French media so that they could alert them that they had been arrested. Now, time out. Originally, I had made a video reporting on this story before the Malian government officially reported on it. And I actually deleted that video because we didn't get the confirmation yet. And I don't want to damage my credibility by putting out unconfirmed information, right? So I deleted that original video because we didn't get the confirmation, but I saw all the headlines going out in the international media, even in the French media. The French media was one of the first ones to put the story out, even before the Malian government. So that right there is facts, right? The French media put it out first. They put out the list of the soldiers and everything like that. And during that time, it was conflicting reports because the soldiers were not arrested yet. So I had some people come into the comment section saying, listen, this might be fake. Is this real? Is it fake? Is it real? Because the French government put out the story first to basically, it seems like, to alert the soldiers that, listen, the plan has been foiled. Listen, it's over. It's a wrap, right? So the story went out into the international media before the soldiers were even arrested, right? The French government tried to tip off the traitors. But meanwhile, the spy was already in custody long before. And the soldiers were arrested days later. Now, anyway, let's continue. It was French intelligence that gave the list of the soldiers who were in contact with the spy to the French media so that they could alert them that they had been arrested, even though the Malian Secret Service hadn't even arrested the soldiers yet. The Malian Secret Services finished inspecting the spy's devices before proceeding to arrest the military accomplices. Now, time out. First thing that stuck out to me, and some of y'all mentioned this in the comment section, but clearly the French government uses their embassy as a base of operations. Clearly, right? Clearly, as we can see. And that's why anytime something goes wrong, the first line of defense they use is diplomatic immunity. He work at the embassy. He innocent. Let him go, right? But really, now we can see the embassy is used as a base of operations for espionage. Now, I want to actually go to a video, a clip from the director of the DGSE, right? This guy right here, Nicolas Lanier. And as we already know, the DGSE is the French equivalent of the CIA, right? So as we can see, Directeur de la DGSE. Now, this is the top chief, the top spy chief in the French government, right? This is the director. This is the French equivalent of the director of the CIA right here, right? This is the top adversary. This is one of our mortal enemies. And now I'm about to jump into a clip. I'm going to translate it to English where he's essentially giving us the game, right? So run the clip. I'll be right back.
And you know, one of the qualities of a good spy is to be, and I add an adjective or a noun, is to be a bit manipulative, meaning to lead a person. Because at the core, that's what espionage is, to betray their country, to betray their company, to serve France. And for that, you have to be a little manipulative, you have to like people, you also have to know human weaknesses to get someone to serve you and cooperate with you.
What are the Achilles heels in others? You say indeed.
All right, we back. Now, as you can see, the adversary himself told you. You have to be manipulative. You have to understand human psychology. You have to somehow convince people to betray their own country in order to serve France. And he also mentioned you have to understand human weaknesses. So we discussed that in previous videos, the type of things that he probably used to convince, certain elements in the military to go against President Assimi Goïta, His Excellency, right? The disgruntled officers who probably felt like they were of a higher rank than Assimi Goïta, who felt like they were superior to President Assimi Goïta, right? Then you also have those who are tempted by money and status and power, right? So he probably used all these methods that he learned in the DGSE in order to organize this conspiracy. But of course, the plan failed, right? The plan failed. Now, I want to talk about Gaddafi. Let's talk about the toppling of Gaddafi. You see, in this situation, the plan against the president of Mali, His Excellency, President Assimi Goïta, it failed. But the plot against Gaddafi, that was successful, right? They successfully carried out an operation to topple the regime of Gaddafi, right? The adversary, he was victorious in that engagement. We got to admit it. Now, I'm going to get into another clip where they actually talked to an intelligence agent who actually was sent out to Libya to carry out a mission to topple Gaddafi. The same way this guy, Yann Vezilier, was sent out to Mali to topple Assimi Goïta. Now, it's ironic because the toppling of Gaddafi is exactly what directly led to the terrorism that we see happening in the region, right? The fact that the Western governments intervened to topple the regime of Gaddafi, that is what unleashed the flood of weapons, the flood of terrorists all throughout the region. And when you see President Assimi Goïta, when you see the Captain Ibrahim Traoré, when you see President Chiani now fighting against terrorism, that terrorism was created because they intervened in Libya to topple Gaddafi, which destroyed the entire region, right? It turned the entire region into an epicenter of terrorism, right? And now they're trying to topple Assimi Goïta. They toppled Gaddafi, destroyed the region. Now they want to topple Assimi Goïta and further destroy the region. And it's ironic because when you see the brothers fighting against terrorism, what they're actually doing is cleaning up the mess that was made by the United States government, cleaning up the mess that was made by the French government, right? Because these guys came, destroyed the region, and left. They went back home. But now the brothers on the continent, they have to clean up the mess that was left behind. But anyways, I'm going to jump into this clip from another French intelligence agent talking about his experience infiltrating the regime of Gaddafi and helping overthrow that government. Run the clip. I'll be right back.
A secret agent emerges from the shadows. And not just any agent. Jean-François Louillier, former top spy for the French services in Libya. He was stationed for the DGSE in Tripoli during the Arab Spring preceding Colonel Gaddafi's fall. His ultra-secret mission was then very clear.
To encourage defection among Libyan figs who could turn against Gaddafi.
France, which had previously received the Libyan dictator with great pomp, now wants his downfall. In this context, our spy, the man from Tripoli, has set a goal to weaken Gaddafi by obtaining, for example, the defection of his foreign minister.
You ultimately push people to betray their country, not only their country, but also their convictions.
Moussa Koussa will indeed defect and find asylum in England. Meanwhile, the military intervention led by France and Great Britain dealt a fatal blow to Gaddafi's troops. The emboldened rebels are at the gates of power. Jean-François Louillier also had the mission to approach them and especially to help them.
They pointed out to us a specific location where there is a unit of Gaddafi that is stationed, which regularly sends missiles to our villages. Do something for us. So I send that to Paris, which may or may not send NATO planes. After that, it's obviously out of my hands. I don't press a button and the planes arrive. That's in the movies, unfortunately.
Now, as you can see, we back, as you can see. So listen, brothers, we have adversaries that are very hostile, very belligerent, very erratic, very unpredictable. Obviously, the world is not sunshine and rainbows. It is a very hostile place. But if this situation has taught us anything, it has taught us the importance of intelligence gathering as well as counterintelligence. And, once again, I tip my hat off to my brothers for at every single turn, outsmarting, outmaneuvering the adversary, outthinking the adversary. Man, always one step ahead, always one step ahead. Oh, man, I love to see it. I love to see it. The brilliance of the black man on display. And one thing I want to say before I go, I know some of y'all are focusing on the traitors, but look on the bright side, right? Yes, of course you got traitors, but you also have those who are faithful to the regime. You also have those who are loyal to the regime. Because if not, then how was the plan foiled if we didn't have those who are loyal to the regime, right? Those who stay true to the game. So we can't just focus on the traitors all goddamn day too. We have to pay homage and acknowledge the ones that stayed true, the ones that didn't switch sides, the ones that stayed loyal, because we do have those that stayed loyal, right? We can't just talk about the traitors. We have to talk about the loyalists as well. So anyways, I tip my hat once again to His Excellency, the President of Mali, President Assimi Goïta, General Assimi Goïta. Once again, I tip my hat to the robust, to the efficient, to the excellent intelligence services of the Malian government. And once again, I tip my hat to the valiant brothers of the Malian armed forces. I love y'all brothers. I'm gone. Peace.
King of the North and I feel like Moise. Took a few losses, I'm back on my feet. Selling they soul for trinkets and cash. Right on the front like the leader from Chad. Feel like a see me, I feel like I'm Idris. Walking on gold, I handle my business. Honor, integrity, money, and power. Told me she love me, she want me in power. Told her I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. Told her come over, come see me in person. Told her come over, I'm sick of the talking. Don't got no time cause that money be calling. Working all night and I'm up in the morning. Love when I call her, she love my attention. Body and soul, I'm truly protected. Back on that road in big body business. Told her I love her, I told her she mine. Get in that passenger seat, we gon' ride. Back on my mission, that money been stacking. Came from the bottom, I'm steady expanding. Run to the check and I pull up and vanish. Grabbing the neck from the back when I smash. Don't need no question, they know it's official. Cut from the cloth and my life ain't no fiction. Ride for the scene like I'm army enlist. Gotta stay focused, I'm moving deliberate. Heart of a king and my heart full of pain. Look at my neck and it's flooded with chains. And I got Vezilier blood in my veins. Enemy watching, I stay with a flame. Keep it 100, they know how we move. Black on black beam, interior blue. How you gonna leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart, you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see perfection. But I'm authentic, I'm whipping the 7. Like it's a phantom, I'm still manifesting. Gotta get money, I gotta get paid. Stay on my toes when I'm ducking these snakes. Go to my wrist and the queen on my arm. Feeling my energy, loving my charm. Might go put Vezilier face on a piece. Ready for war, that's how you get peace. Know I'm protected, I'm ready for action. When I walk in, I need 21 cannons. Secret location, I'm up in the palace. One of a kind and she loving my manners. One of a kind and I'm telling the truth. His and her Bentleys, I gotta get two. Feeling like future, we never gon' lose. Feeling like Garvey, I'm running the block. Entering off firm and I'm letting off shots. King of the north and I'm up at the top. How you gon' leave me? I told you I love you. Pain in my heart and you knew I was trouble. Enemy watching, they wanna invade it. Hoping my brothers don't never betray us. Been on my mind and I hope I can save us. Look at my flaws, I don't see